Hello. What is transparency? I'll just give you a little example. I mean, a lot of people know what it is, but I'm going to show you a little example of transparency. So, for instance, if these people knew this was going to happen and they let it happen, they're hiding something. That's that's not good. But if they did it so they get paid, that's even worse. Because it's going against what they're supposed to do. But let's say if I were to, first I'll resize it. So I'll just do a resize to about 50%. And I'm doing this for a reason because I already know it doesn't fit into the other picture. So let's just say I do this little number, and I'll just move it down like this, a little bit like that. Um, Now if I copy this, just Control A, Control C, and I wanted to put it in this picture, um, I can paste it in here. But look, the whole background, is gonna, if I, now I've lost everything. Now anything that's back here is gone. So if I do it again, all I did was undo. Now I'm gonna paste it again. But what if I turn transparency on? Now now you can see what's going on except for where I cover it. Where I cover it. Did they take money to do this to me? I think so. I think they took a lot of money to do what they did to me. They will not tell the truth. I'll go and close it. If I save it, it's saved. And if I don't, I don't. I'm going to save it. And now it's saved like that. And what's done is done, and you can't fix it. No, you can't fix it. I say that because, Intel Corporation has owned, they did these bad things. They took their ethics courses, they passed their ethics courses, and they have to keep their job. It's mandatory to pass ethics. I think you had to have 90% to keep your job. Everybody took it every year. It's just a course to them, apparently, because look what they've done to me. I'm homeless waiting for them to tell the truth about what they know about this. Intel Corporation knows something about this, and they won't tell the truth because many people would probably go to jail. So a lot of people took money to do what they did to me, and they don't want anybody to know that they know something about this and these people, knowing something about this and these people, the drummer being related to some of these people that know something about this. Um, should you be afraid? Because transparency in source code, when I give you my code, you can look at my code. You can look and see if there's something in there that you shouldn't have in your code. If you don't know what you're doing when you're coding, it's kind of dangerous to take some of the source code and just use it. There's viruses and stuff all the time. I mean, that's why you have McAfee. Who has owned McAfee? Intel Corporation owned McAfee for a while. They sure did. Now, what happens when they do an update on your drivers? This is a device manager on my mother's computer. Look, there is a Bluetooth. They can actually transmit data with this. Not just. I've seen where people have created where you can transmit data, send data over this other than just music. I've seen that. I haven't used it, but I've seen where you can. But that's an Intel driver. There's an Intel graphics card. Um, Here's an Intel. It's a chipset of some kind of controller. Here's another Intel wireless, dual band wireless. I don't know what it does. Don't tell me what it does. Here's another Intel. This is the CPU. This is the processor. Here's more Intel stuff. You know, when they do updates, because this computer does updates all the time. What are they updating? Are they stealing something? Are they, what are they updating? Are they updating the software, or are they updating the gateware for the next boot up for this processor? And they're changing something inside to where they're getting ready to steal your data. Because that's what Tilfan bragged about. When I was working on the data center platforms, he was bragging about they could just, have a 3 input AND gate. He said you could have an 8 input AND gate where 8 different bits have to be high for that other bit to be high to enable something. What else can they do with when they do something like that? Because if you have a CPU on something, you have status register, alarm registers, and control registers. You also have register where you can try to write to something. They're called scratch registers. You just write to it, make sure you can read and write. That's all they're for. But control registers, they could turn your fuel pump off. You'd be driving down the road, all of a sudden your fuel pump just quits. It won't start anymore. They can anything that's tied to a control register. If they have access to it, they can turn it on or off. It's just a 1 or a 0. That's all it is. But I mean, do you trust people that have willfully done what they've done to me and they're still hiding the truth? I'm still sitting here waiting. The year is now 2026, and everyone knows they did this to me around the year 2001 with Dale Earnhardt faking his death on national television. Look at all the bad things that this company, Intel Corporation, and these police have done to me, and these citizens have done to me because they just sit on the truth. They will not tell the truth. They're trying to arrest me instead of telling the truth about the crimes in which they have committed towards me, my ex-wife, and many other people. Many people have been harmed due to Intel Corporation and these police that have done this, and they just laugh in my face. There's nothing I can do because no one will arrest themselves. So if you want to raise a bunch of Eddie Haskells, just remember, there's a lot of people that are really smart, and what they like to do is show how smart they are by putting viruses on your computer, stealing your data. They'll do stuff to your cars. Like, for instance, in high school, I was out at Terry Robbins' house. Stephen Myers was his cousin. He took me out there, and we was waiting for Terry to come back to his house. I got in my truck and started backing up, and every time I'd start to drive, my truck would die. And I could not figure out why my truck was dying. I'd start and it would die. And then and it would get out on the road, and then it would push back in the driveway. And they're like, "Man, I don't understand, Brett." It was Jimmy Vaughn and Stephen Myers. Like, "I don't understand why your truck keeps dying." I was like, "I don't understand either. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen." I'd start driving, it just died. Over and over, just kept dying. And Terry Robbins came over, and we had pushed back in the driveway. About the time Terry Robbins came over to heal, he came up to the house, but Terry Robbins is the one who caught him. They had there was another alarm in my car that wasn't part of mine, and they had a remote control, and they were turning on a kill switch while my car was running. They would just kill my car. And it was another alarm that had been installed in my car besides the car alarm I had. There was 2 alarms. And Stephen Myers and Jimmy Vaughn had the dongles for it. That was in 1988 or 89 when that occurred. Think about all the things they have done since then. Stephen Myers is a police officer in Fort Worth. Think about that. Anyway, I'm going to go to incriminate some more police officers today because all they do is sit on the truth. They will not tell the truth because, anybody who gets caught in something like this right here, anybody who knows anything about that is probably going to end up, in a jail cell. Because every year they ring that bell in that city to recognize what happened on that day. Is it real? Is it? I don't know. I think everybody's lying to me because everyone just laughs in my face. A bunch of Eddie Haskells out there. Anyway, I'm going to go, so have a good day. Bye.